You are listening to the Success Leaves Clues podcast,
where we're having conversations with regular people doing outstanding and legacy-changing things in corporate America and entrepreneurship.
If you're looking for the blueprint to help you make less mistakes on your journey to freedom and ultimate purpose, then this is the podcast for you.
And now, here's your host, Dr. K. Dr. K.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? We're back, and this time I got somebody special all the way from you're in Atlanta, right?
Absolutely.
Man, I was about to go hard with the Atlanta intro, and then I was like, I wanted to make sure. But I got my man Brandon, better known as Bam. Y'all know him on the internet, and I'm really proud to have his brother on today because he gives back to people in a special way, man. You always find a way to give back to the culture, give back to people, teach people how to make money, and you're willing to share the way that you found. So go ahead and introduce yourself for everybody.
Yeah, man. So my name is Bam. I'm a big time voice in the Amazon industry, in the e-commerce industry. So my nickname right now on the internet is Bamazon. I'm from Atlanta, Georgia. I've been in e-commerce since 2008, and just like he said, I don't want to keep all the knowledge for myself. I put out as much information as possible, support as many other brands as possible, and I'm in it to win it for not just for myself, but any other small business, small black business that is doing pretty solid. So that's me for the most part.
Yeah, you always got high energy, man. And it impresses me a lot because it's hard to stay motivated in life. I don't care if you got a job. I don't care if you are talking about relationship, raising your kids and your family, even entrepreneurship. People get beat down, man. And it's hard to stay motivated, hard to stay energized.
Yeah.
And you do that day in and day out. How do you do that, man?
Different ways. So like, for instance, right now I'm in Atlanta, Georgia. I'm in one of the most balling part of the city. I'm in Buckhead. So I'm always humbled because as great as I'm doing, I'm always able to go outside and see someone that has, 10 times as much experience I have or this, that, and the third. Then also just being in the community. So I'm in the community. My brother David Shans, he has a community, pretty much like a book club, and it's a bunch of us entrepreneurs, and they get together every morning. I'm not necessarily there every single morning, but I'm always tapped into the community or whatever. So it's just like being in the community, you find accountability partners. People that, I'm always surrounded by people that are doing great, and they always ask you how you're doing. And if I hesitate in any shape, form, or fashion, they're always willing to provide a lending hand and help. So just two things, man, being involved in a community where I have some sort of accountability and just kind of being in the atmosphere where I see so much that I'm inspired on a day-to-day basis,
Yeah, it's important when you talk about community. So the community, you have basically two communities, right? So you have a community that you're in of entrepreneurs that helps, grow, develop, and mentor you. That's how you feed yourself.
Yeah.
But then you also got a community on the other side, and you're providing that same stuff to them. Why is it important for those two types of communities?
All right. So like the best thing to learn is the best way to learn is to teach. So it's like you learn some information, and you teach that information to whether it's one person or to your entire audience. That's one of the best forms of actually learning, for the most part. And basically it's just like duplicating the blueprint. So at the end of the day, it's gonna be at least 80-90% all on you, but that 10-20% of accountability does help along the way. So if it works for me, I understand that it will work for the next person. So at the end of the day, it's kind of like not. I don't want to be the only free slave, at the end of the day. If I get free, I found a way to free myself. I can pull a Harriet Tubman, I will. I will, because at the end of the day, it's not all about me. And, helping somebody else is only going to help me at the end of the day. You know what I mean? And it helps and everything just helps with networking. If I'm involved in the community, I'm always actively have a strong network, where even if I'm backed away, I can tap into this community and that's going to still be there, and vice versa. Even the people I pour into, I never know what that person has to offer. Just because I'm training them on something doesn't mean that they don't have anything to offer as well. So it just helps out organically overall, just being always in position to win and find new opportunities for the most part.
Yeah, you talk about freeing people, and we talk about like Harriet Tubman, right? And I remember a line, from Harriet Tubman that she would have freed more people if they knew they were slaves.
Right.
And I think that's kind of a struggle a lot of times that you try to help people and they don't know that they need the help, or they complain about their current circumstance or situation,
Yeah.
but they don't really realize that you have the answer to that, to that issue. You have the solution.
Yeah. Nah, facts. Not exactly, man. For the most part, like I've seen a lot of people, you know what I'm saying? You could kind of put the blueprint in front of them, like work hard, but know what you're working on, be conscious of what you're working on and of whatever, the direction you're going in. But I see a lot of people, man, they just be complaining about the small things, like if I tell someone I get 5 hours of sleep, my body naturally doesn't really want to sleep too much longer than 4 or 5 hours at a time. Outside of that, maybe I could do a cat nap. But some people look and say, I got to get my 8 hours of sleep. And I'm not knocking that, because ideally you want to, but at the end of the day, you need just enough. Sometimes you need just enough. And it doesn't have to be forever either. Or, like somebody might want to get in the weight room and they say, I'm not like they might just use work as an excuse. I'm not going to. I can't do that. I got kids. Or, people always make excuses up, and it's like, well, do you want the results? You want to keep complaining? At the end of the day. So most people don't even know that they're a slave to their own habits, their own routines, and their own their own tasks, and they don't understand.
Wow.
Yeah, or their own vices, and they don't even understand. Like some people can't give up things like marijuana or whatever drug, alcohol. I got to have me a drink every Friday, or I got to go out every Friday. You know what I'm saying? Or I got, we got to eat fast food or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So yeah.
How do you keep yourself disciplined? Because everybody has something, right? And they say excuses are like buttholes, and everybody got one. So sometimes they try to act like when they're coming up with these excuses, they act like it's only them.
Yeah.
But you got these same issues. I got these same issues.
Right.
So how do you overcome those when you're dealing with them?
Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, man, I just continuously focus on. I do a lot of. I listen to a lot of motivational things. So one of the things I do, one of the things I put it on is my habits, just my overall habits, my overall routine. Sometimes if I'm feeling off or if I have an off week, it's a chink in my chain. It's something off in my routine that I'm not doing. Like maybe I'm sleeping in too late, or maybe I'm consuming fried foods too often during that week or what have you. But it's all about routine for me, and part of my routine is when I wake up, I listen to I got YouTube. My YouTube is it's programmed on my search or whatever. Every single morning it's like motivational video, whether it's Steve Harvey, normally Steve Harvey, TD Jakes, or one of those guys. But they talk a lot about sacrifice and things of that nature. And it's drilled in my head every single day. Sacrifice this, work hard for that, get great at that. And it's like when you hear it every single day, like it's part of my routine. And then not to mention, I'm a big gym rat as well. I go to the gym a lot. And part of that is just the half of it is the physical, but the other half is like mental focus or whatever. So basically, man, my routine and the part I have healthy habits within my routines to where it kind of guide me, and most of my routine is controlled in the morning time. Like in the daytime, to be honest with you, I can't really control my day. I don't know who's going to call me. I don't know. I might get tired throughout the day, but I know at the best I can control the morning. And, I throw in some, one of the first thing I listen to before hip hop, it's always a motivational speech. It might be Jim Rohn. It could be something from Kevin Hart, you know what I'm saying? But mainly the two people I see a lot is Bishop, T.D. Jakes, and Steve Harvey. And they talk a lot about things like habits, you know what I'm saying? As far as or just not doing, sacrifice, honestly. Mm-hmm. So I know the average person not listening to this type of stuff on a day-to-day basis, but they should, that's one of the reasons I wrote my book, actually. I wrote a book called Navigate the Great, Your GPS to Success. And it's kind of pretty much is all of the self-help books I read all in one as a I guess you can call it a get out the hood guide or get to it guide, and it's like, and I made it, and if you've ever read some of these books, it's pretty funny. Like the first section of the book is called Think and Grow Lit. So I got principles, I got principles from Think and Grow Rich in that book, or like Rich Dad Poor Dad. I got a segment called Rich Uncle Poor Uncle. You know what I mean? So, so like anybody that's read any of those books, they will relate to it. And it's a little humorous if you understand the titles of these other books.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I was catching the references because I've read all those books, right?
Yeah.
So I do a lot of that. Same thing as you, motivational. I'm a part of the same community, in the morning, every day. So I read these books and all of that stuff. But I realize you did a good thing with your book because sometimes it's not relatable.
Yeah.
Right. These books, Think and Grow Rich, it's wordy, it's complex.
Yeah.
And you have to really be willing to dig into that information, but you made it relatable to people who are everyday people who can digest that better.
Yeah, exactly. Like even Rich Uncle Poor Uncle. At the end of the day, I mean, I had a dad growing up, but a lot of my friends didn't grow up with their dads. Or even if you had a dad, it'll be your uncle that's balling. The dad played it safe, but the uncle balling. You know what I'm trying to say? So it's like, you know what I mean? So at the end of the day, it's like, even that part is relatable. You know what I'm saying? Is at the end of the day, it can't say Rich Dad, Poor Dad, but I still wanted to draw from those concepts. And, some people can get it. At the end of the day, people can get it. And it's not a long book either. It's only 100 pages. But I got some of the main principles that I drew from these books, and I just put it there, put it in my book.
Yeah, I'll be sure to take a link, put it in the description, right, for the show. Make sure everybody gets a chance to check the book out.
Absolutely, man. Appreciate it.
Yeah, and I'm gonna take a wild guess, but I already know where the book's at. Where's the book at?
On Amazon, man.
Amazon, man.
It's on Amazon.
Of course. Man.
You can download the Kindle version. It's on Amazon as well.
Yeah.
Absolutely, man.
Yeah. So, speaking of Amazon, how did you? So it's already amazing to be an author, right? For you to come, from where you come from, against the odds and things like that,
yeah.
and be able to write a book and become an author. But not only that, but you have become an entrepreneur and a really successful entrepreneur.
Appreciate it, man.
So it's even further ahead of the game. But why Amazon, man?
You mean as far as like why did I release the book, or why am I the platform in general? As far as why do I sell on there in general?
No. So I was saying congratulations on the book, but I was saying why did you start entrepreneurship in Amazon? It seems strange to me. I know you can make money on there, but I look at it as I'm a consumer, right? So I buy stuff from Amazon almost every day.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's the reason.
But I never look at it as a way to make money.
Yeah. Well, so like, I was just, all right. So I've always been a salesman type. I ain't play sports growing up. Well, I play outside, but I wouldn't be like adequate enough to be on the team or whatnot. So I wasn't a musician. So like, so entrepreneurship was always my thing. Like when I was like 8 years old, I used to like collect cans, and if I saw like the neighbor had like a piece of metal in the yard, because my dad was in construction, so he used to go to these construction places and do that. So I was just like, let me collect some cans and stuff. And then when I got to middle school, I was like the dude that sold candy and, eventually a few other things. So it's just like, I was always the type to like sell. Like I was always the type to have something for sale, because I was never great at getting jobs either, at the end of the day. And then once I was able to find myself in a position to make money, I would just like, forget a job anyway. So it's like, when I was in college, the older you get, some of these hustles that you had, like when I was in college, I wasn't able to push a lawnmower or, selling snacks was okay, but not until you realize that you need a little more money to be grown. You know what I'm saying? So like, so I eventually like, I started selling on eBay back in college, back in 2008. I started selling on eBay. So I had a buddy of mine, still a buddy of mine to this day. He, I don't know where he got the watch from, but I think he I don't know where he got the watch from, but I just know like I don't know if someone in his family or I'm not sure, but he wanted to sell a watch and he didn't want to sell it through the pawn shop because the pawn shop give you peanuts. So like I always wanted to get on eBay, but he might have mentioned it, and I was just like, let's create an account. And then I didn't even know we didn't even know how valuable the watch was. You know, it was like one of those watches. Like it was like it was like real antique. So we had to wipe it up and everything.
Yeah.
And like I'm looking, I listed the watch and I see the watch bid all the way up to like 20,000. It didn't get bought. It didn't get bought at 20,000. We had to relist it. It sold for like 13,000. But it bid all the way up to 20,000. And I'm seeing all these people coming, they asking questions. And you know, just me, I'm from College Park, Georgia. So it's like this to even you're more likely to approach your own kind when you got something for sale as opposed to, you know, someone of a different race or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like you know, I could be a kid, as a matter of fact, selling candy in the parking lot, selling my own people, they'll support you, but you go to another side of town, they might report you. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? So like So like I was just impressed. I was like, dang, like people from anywhere, they don't care about me. They just care about the pictures and the words and make the serial number. So I was like, so that was the first thing we sold. My friend gave me like 10%. eBay took like 15%. He got some money and I think he had to split the money with his brother or something like that.
Okay.
But I was just like, dang, you know what I'm saying? And so I took the little money I had and I started buying people's like sneakers, like when people just didn't want to wear their sneakers anymore. Or I label it as a closet clean. And like, you know, any clothes and shoes they didn't want to wear no more, I would buy the stuff I thought was cool and sell it on eBay. And eventually people are like, the stuff I wasn't comfortable with buying they'll consign it to me. And I did like a consignment type of thing. Then we did the textbooks. I noticed after the first semester, people would like line up to sell like the textbooks back to the bookstore. And
from college.
Yeah, and I never bought books from the bookstore. I would always buy like the previous year edition on eBay. You know what I'm saying? At that point, or Amazon. So like I started doing that as well. And you know, like, you know, eventually I graduated and stuff. But by the time I graduated, I was used to selling stuff on eBay and like Craigslist and things of that nature. So like as far as Amazon, like eBay, all right, so Amazon became more popular as far as like, because back then you go and buy or sell books, but they became more and more popular to the point where they're the number one retailer now. So it's kind of like saying, do you want to own a Walmart store? I'm not saying like I have as much inventory as a Walmart store, but just pretend like you got like a Walmart kiosk that you can put in the mall or something like that. And it's kind of like that, like when it comes down to having an Amazon store. So eBay, the trust kind of declined just after so many people selling counterfeits on eBay. So eBay's still a good platform, but Amazon is more like, it's easy to run a business through Amazon because like for one, they got the Amazon FBA, you know what I'm saying? So that's basically when you ship the items directly to their warehouses and they distribute it for you. That's pretty good because if I want to, I can just like literally buy, say I want to go on vacation for 2 weeks. I can literally get rid of all my merchant. I can literally get rid of everything on hand that I have on Amazon for any other platform that I'm selling merchandise on. If I just say, if I'm selling everything through Amazon and I ship all the inventory through Amazon, I don't have to worry about being home, shipping the items and things of that nature. And so it's basically Amazon's the best platform when it comes down to scaling, you know? Yeah. And it's like the marketplace is the best marketplace. It's the best market. It's like a search engine at this point. Like Amazon is like a search engine. So out of all the different platforms, it's like the number one. It's like number one global retailer. Period. You know what I mean? So the customers are there.
Yeah. So you've been doing this a long time. So when you talk about going all the way back to eBay and making money and how you found different opportunities, doing the consignment and all of this stuff, it's not like this is a overnight success for you. You might be Bamazon now, but you've been in the makes for a long time. You've been working, you've been putting in the work, getting the education, testing the market, testing products. A lot goes into the business.
And even before eBay, like I would buy merchandise from people as long as it wasn't reported stolen locally. I would buy like people would have TVs and they wouldn't want to give it to the pawn shop, but I would buy it from them, and I would go to like a barber shop, and you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or like if I knew somebody had like a little black business or something like that, or what have you, I do, you know, or in College Park would you have a discount mall? So like I would just go
Yeah.
up to the discount mall and you know just walk around with it, you know, and you know maybe go buy a phone case just to make it seem like I ain't loitering, and people will buy it. You know what I'm saying? As long as they can make sure it work. Like so you just kind of, you know, but that was more difficult because I didn't have a car back then, and you know, he was so when I that's yeah. So yeah, going back to what you're saying, I understand. Yeah, exactly.
Hey Ben, how do you find out if the products or the goods you're getting are stolen? Because I bought stolen goods, you know, back in the day, but I didn't really care as long as I ain't asked nobody. I can assume it was stolen, but I didn't never ask, so I don't care.
Well, the thing
So how did you
is,
find
what
out?
I mean is, if I couldn't see, like, so I couldn't see if it was stolen. So, like, basically, it was a website back then. It was basically just like in your area. Like, my area isn't reported stolen. I can't remember the
Okay.
website, but it would only, like I say, like I'm kind of the same way. So it's like if it had a serial number, a specific serial number, it was able to be verified. But some items don't have serial numbers. At the end of the day, as you know, I probably wouldn't know, but you know what I'm saying. But at the end of the day, if it felt hot, what I'm saying is, if it felt hot, I wouldn't do it. If it felt like it was like this obviously stolen, like I wouldn't do
Yeah.
that. But if it just like you got like back then, I want to say it was a iPod or yeah, the iPods. You know what I'm saying? Like back then,
Yeah.
those were very popular. Like you know, or like you know, phones, like like cell phones or whatever. But yeah, if it felt stolen, I wouldn't do it. Or if it was like a television, I would know if it's stolen. I had a friend, so I had a friend that worked at a pawn shop, and sometimes I would either go through this website or I would call them to tell them to run the serial numbers, and I just kind of stall the sale. You know what I mean? Like if the person told me they had like a TV for sale, I would tell them to tell me the serial numbers, and I'd get back to them. And you know, if the pawn shop types it in and doesn't say stolen, or if the website I was using at the time didn't say it was stolen, then I would buy it. You know, for normally little or nothing, and sell it for a little something.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
I like that, man. You said it. As long as it didn't feel stolen.
Yeah.
And I like that because sometimes business is about instinct.
Yeah.
It's about knowing the right moves to make, the right connections, the right partnerships, and everything's not going to be perfect. Everything's not going to be laid out for you, but sometimes you got to be able to follow that gut feeling.
Yeah. Yeah. No, exactly. Yeah, you got to be like, especially like you got to be like that for the most part. You know, for your business safety or your personal safety, for that matter.
Yeah. So what's some of the stuff on Amazon? I'm new. I want to start an Amazon store, but there's a lot of rules. There's a lot of regulations. What type of things do I want to look out for?
Well, you want to learn as much as you can just to kind of get a feel for how to create an account, things of that nature. But as far as what to look out for, that's why it's important to either buy a course or like listen to YouTube for hours, because they have a lot of different tools that you can use. So for number one of the biggest barriers when you first open an Amazon account is most of the items that you will want to sell, you're not approved to sell those items. So you have to learn how to get unrestricted or ungated to sell those particular items. And then on top of that, you got to understand that some brands are more strict when it comes down to protecting their distribution online. Meaning, like if like some items, Amazon might say that you're allowed to sell this particular brand, but if you sell that particular brand, that particular brand has people that are basically auditing the marketplace. So if you're someone that doesn't buy directly from them, they might not want you to sell that particular item. You know, so they have different softwares that kind of give you a thumbs up if this particular brand has had those issues, like IP alerts, information protection alerts, things of that nature.
Yeah.
And also I say you want to join some type of community, like well, well, just be a part of the community. The Amazon community is pretty friendly. The reseller community is pretty friendly. Meaning is like for instance, if you're in the credit repair industry, you might not want to link with too many other financial services people. Or if you're a real estate agent, you might not want to you might not want to link with too many other real estate professionals because you'll think at the end of the day they can do what I do. But for the most part, the Amazon sellers or the resellers in general, they're pretty cool. So if you start following content relevant to Amazon sellers, or you start posting every blue moon, you kind of get involved in the Amazon ecosystem online, and like those people are very supportive. So you want to either join a community or just kind of want to be a part of the open bar, should I say, of Amazon sellers, because they're pretty friendly and they love giving advice and telling you what not to do and what to do. For the most part, I learned a lot of stuff just from networking on Instagram, let alone like YouTube was good as far as like consuming a lot of content, because like even when I tried Amazon for the first time, like I failed. You know what I mean? Like I bought some stuff and the stuff wasn't good sellers, and it was like I was gonna make less money than I bought it for, and it just like honestly just kept looking at YouTube videos and joining communities, and eventually I got pretty good at Amazon. You know what I'm saying? I was able to take everything from the other websites and translate it over to the Amazon business model.
Yeah, a real good thing you talk about, and you're bringing it back up, is community, man.
Yeah.
Because, somebody can they can read a book, they can go on YouTube and watch hours and hours and of different videos, but then you know what? They got to weed through and try to find out what's fake, what's real, what's the best route, and that's why it's valuable to get involved or get associated with a coach or a mentor, because they bridge that gap and they put you, on the fast track, so to speak. You know what I mean? And that's why I've always gone that route myself. I paid for the education, but it saved myself in time, because you're going to pay with time or money.
Yeah, and I mean, been doing it, do it the hard way. You're gonna spend both. Like you're gonna spend as much money as you could spend on that course. So my program's called the Resellers Bootcamp. You can access it. It's link in my bio, or you can go to resellersbootcamp.com, and I pretty much teach that. But I know you'll eventually like spend more money failing on inventory, and you're gonna spend more time if you don't buy a course. You know what I'm saying? And I understand some people charge arm and leg. Like some people love to charge 10 grand, 55 grand for mentorships. And I'm not knocking it, but at the end of the day, honestly, I never see the value. Like as much as when people tell you there's a value in doing that, I never see the value between, or the difference between paying 10,000 and the same thing you pay for. We get 100, we spend $100 or $1,000. Like I never see the difference. In fact, I'm just gonna be that much more disappointed, because at the end of the day, if somebody a go-getter, they can really take the right free information and execute. You know what I'm saying? But but for the most part, it's just like, like every time I've seen someone charge those types of numbers, it's like they're just good at selling. You know what I'm saying? I get it sometimes. Like sometimes you can get in a better room, but sometimes you just gotta appreciate the room that opened the door for you, that you didn't have to pay for. You know what I'm trying to say? Like me and you cool. Like I'll be honest with you, man. I think I got your information. I think Andrea recommended me to and she helped me write my book. Actually, she recommended me somebody else too, but I'm not gonna say her name. I tell you off camera. And she was like, you should join. You should see about her podcast as well, because it has your audience. I was like, cool. So she sent me a link. The link was like a $25 consultation fee to see if I was a fit for the podcast. So I mean, for me, I know I'm at the end of the day, I get it. You know what I'm saying? But the way it's phrased, it just kind of look like a little way to get a quick dollar. Honestly, you know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, you screening like if I put it this way, $1 million worth of game was charging $10,000 like a year ago for people that wanted to, you know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, when you're at the point where it's time to monetize, you know what I'm saying? So I hit her up, was like, it's a dub 5 for the consultation. Not that the dub 5 is a lot for me, but it's a red flag number one. So she was like, she was like, well, it's probably just to kind of weed out the naysayers, and I get it. I'm not knocking it. And I was like, cool. She was like, she was even offering to give me a money back guarantee if it didn't work out. I don't want your money. At the end of the day, like that's not that ain't what it's about. So we had a consultation today at 12:00, or it was like yesterday or today, something like that. So, she was like, asked me what I do. And she was just like, well, I've already interviewed someone that's in the e-commerce space this season. You know what I'm saying? She was just like, so at the moment for this season, it doesn't fit, but I want you to revisit this conversation in 7 months. Oh yeah, it's gonna be $300 for the interview. That's how much I charge. And I was just like, for me to even humble myself to crawl back after this $25 insult, now you charge $300, and I wasn't good enough for this season, as if things can't be pre-recorded or whatnot. Right. Who the hell, you know what I'm saying? Who you think you are? At the end of the day, I got a podcast too. You know what I'm saying? Like I do some good things too. You know what I'm saying? Like I get you doing your thing, but it's just like, at the end of the day, it's like, I'm not knocking it still, but it's like, I'm more so in making sure I get what I deserve. Like at the end of the day, when it's time to get paid, you know when to get paid, you know what I'm saying? And you know what I'm saying? And it's just like at the end of the day, like I just believe in making sure people get more than what they paid for when it comes down to it. I just like, it helps me sleep at night, you know what I'm saying? I don't want to be out here scamming people one day and you look up and somebody really needed their money. You know what I'm saying? Like you looking at it like, so like, I feel like we're doing it for the community if we put things out there, get access.
Look, I'm glad you said it, because that's exactly where I was about to go with it. Me and you, we got the same exact focus and goal, and a lot of stuff you're doing. Like we talked about earlier on, the two communities, right? You got a community that you're getting fed from and pulling from, and then you're giving back to this community. And that's the focus of my podcast, is to have people on like you, because I want to spread that message that, look, there's somebody out there that's looking for an opportunity. They're looking for a way out. They're looking for additional income. And how can they get that? They don't know that they can sell on Amazon and make a ton of money. So this is the reason I'm doing this, is so that people can see these opportunities.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what it's all about. You know what I'm saying? Like even on any platform I do it, like it seems like a lot of people moving toward the dating thing and how to make a woman fall in love, or how to get a man to spend all his money. And I just be like, man, I get it. It's cool. It's funny, but how's that really going to help somebody? You know what I'm saying? How's it really going to help somebody? So, yeah, I mean, and yeah, man, you know what I'm saying? Like, my thing is I just like to expose different ways people make money, So like I talk Amazon a lot, but when it comes down to it, like, I also want people to see these other ways to make money, because it might not be for you, because like I'm used to buying things, selling things. Some people might be better at Airbnb business or something like that. You know what I'm trying to say? So, but just highlighting different ways people make money and showing them that you can be cool. Like you don't have to be like, growing up, it was like either you were a square, drug dealer, or entertainer. Now it's kind of like you can be kind of in between. Like you don't have to be a drug dealer, but you don't have to be a square to be a good person and be out here making this money. And you don't have to, like wearing the uniform to a job you hate every morning and every day sucks. You don't have to do that. You know what I'm saying? Like there's other ways to, or it might be a lady out there. She might feel like the only way to make some money is by selling her body. Like a girl that I know from back in the day hit me up the other day. So she started the morning off, it's like a Facebook thing. She was like, I want to buy your book, but you got to sign it for me. I'm like, cool. Later on that day, she said, I got $60 and but I need $200 by tomorrow. What should I do? I can't even answer that question. You know what I'm saying? Honestly. But just me knowing her, I know that in the past, she's not had too much issues using what she got to get what she want. You know what I'm saying? Like, but I'm only on Assume because I see an OnlyFans in your bio. You know what I'm trying to say? I can't assume what you do on it because I'm not a subscriber, but at the end of the day, I'm pretty sure that's the only thing that she was really thinking about. Or she probably was trying to figure out, was I trying to go that route? Because how would I know how to turn $60 into $200? I'm past that. You know what I'm saying? Well, I would definitely tell you the wrong thing at this point. You know what I'm saying? Like the only way to really do that is the wrong thing. It's two ways to do it. You flip that in the I don't know, or you can go pay a bar fee. It's either one or the other. You know what I'm trying to say?
Fast money ain't usually it's
Yeah,
not good.
I don't know. I don't know. Like, you know what I'm saying? And my response, I guess my response was a little harsh. I said, tell your baby's father that y'all $140 short and you really need something. And I guess she took it as I ain't gonna say insult, but as like I was joking. I was like, I'm dead serious. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, he ain't got $70 a piece for his little ones. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. You know what I'm saying?
And that's a problem.
Yeah. So basically what I'm saying with that, going back to what I was saying is, for that single mama out there that just feel like the only thing she worth is what she got is other ways to make money out here. You know what I'm saying? You just gotta listen to your podcast, listen to some of my content, and there's other ways out there, you know?
Yeah, that's what we want. That's what we definitely want everybody to know and understand. And look, the two things I want people to check out is I'm gonna have a link to your coaching program. I'm also gonna have a link to your book so that people can at least get their minds, they got to change the way they're currently going at life, right? They got to start seeing something new, exposing themselves to something different. And in that way, they can start seeing these opportunities and making a change.
Yeah.
So look, Bam, I got something I like to do on every episode. The name of the show is Success Leaves Clues Podcast. So I like to point out a couple of clues that I picked up during our conversation, but I'm quite sure the audience is going to pick up on a few of their own things.
Okay.
So one, first and foremost, man, I want to point out the fact of your integrity, man, and the way you said that you go off of a feeling. And if that feeling isn't right, whether it's somebody you're doing business with, somebody you're purchasing items from, the way you're going to sell that item to somebody else, you're going to do it right, man. And everybody needs to take that into business.
Yeah. I mean, like my thing with that is I don't want to down the line get in any type of trouble. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want to with anything. You know, I like to be able to look over my shoulder. So like that's kind of where that come from. Just like just making sure that I do as best as I can without, because I don't want to have to owe nobody money, and I don't want to get in no type of trouble down the line. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that's where that come from.
I know that's right. And then I got the way you feed yourself, right? So you got a daily routine, and people got to I want people to take away from this that you got to start putting the right things in. Everybody, you can't binge watch Netflix, all the time. You can't just listen to all your favorite songs. Sometimes you got to take a moment, listen to something motivational, listen to some podcasts, read some books, and you got to put the right things into your mind.
Yeah, facts. Routine is everything. Like it's pretty like it's kind of like my GPS, bro. Like my guide. Like anytime I'm having a bad week or bad month, I just look at my routine. Say you waking up late, you working out less, you eating more crazy foods. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, or you might have woke up, but you ain't cut no type of motivation thing on, or you ain't meditate, you ain't hit the sauna. You ain't take your vitamins. You know what I'm saying? So like at the end of the day, like anytime I have a bad week, I'm doing one of those major things wrong. Like more likely it's oversleeping though. It's normally lead from oversleeping. It stems from that for the most part.
Yeah, exactly. The body in motion tends to stay in motion. You got to get going. You can't just lounge around all day. Yeah, it causes depression too, but that's a whole nother conversation.
Nah, facts though. Like exactly, like the days you like kind of depressed, you don't move a lot, bro.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. So like that's kind of one of the ways to shake it. Like man, go out there, run, hit that sauna. Eventually, you be like, man, what was I tripping over?
Exactly.
A girl, a guy, or a little money I lost. Well, it's all right.
Well, I appreciate you, Bam. Thanks for coming on, man. Thanks for sharing with the people. I want to remind everybody out there, if you can dream it, you can achieve it. Until next time.
Absolutely, my brother.
Thank you for listening to another episode of the Success Leaves Clues podcast.
Be sure to follow Dr. K on Instagram at Dr. K Washington or the podcast page at Success Leaves Clues Podcast. We'll see you here next time.